Hello beautiful people, I'm Raish Phoenix, and in today's video I'm going to talk about something that's been on my mind lately and has become very frustrating. If you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. So I kind of want to get into what I've been seeing lately in terms of how people talk about things or people that they don't like. It kind of feels like to an extreme to me. And it feels very, like, I guess counterproductive is the word for it. I don't even know how to label it because I'm so repulsed by this approach that I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. I've been noticing that there are some people who will talk about things that they either don't like or don't understand, and they label it as disgusting, they label it as sad, like they start feeling bad for people because they don't agree with their choices or don't understand their choices. And it's perplexing to me because in those type of scenarios, it's like they hear something on the news. So I'm going to try to be like generalized but kind of like more specific. But someone will hear something on the news about a particular person, and once they hear it on the news, they'll have an emotional reaction. So they'll be like, I've never heard of said person or said situation with person before, so I'm having an emotional reaction. I think it's sad that this happened, or I think it's disgusting that they're doing this. And then when other people come around who haven't heard about this particular thing, that person starts to bring the subject up, and if the people that they're talking to, I guess, express interest to an extent. And I don't really know how to define interest because it's not like they said, oh, tell me more. It's kind of like, oh, I haven't heard this thing. And then the person takes it as an opportunity to be like, oh, yeah, they were saying this, that, and the other on the news about said person or situation. And I think it is very disgusting and sad. I feel bad for them that they're going through this. But in reality, the situation that they're talking about is somebody who is either going through some type of transformation in their life. They are changing the way that they do things, changing something about themselves, and becoming more of who they want to be and who they're meant to be. But because the person who is viewing this doesn't understand it, doesn't get it, they belittle the person. They make it seem like it's sad. They make it seem like, oh, you should love yourself more or else you wouldn't want to make this change. And I'm just like, who the hell are you? Like, who the hell are you to be deciding that you are going to be the voice of people who go through this transformation, or people who go through this life journey, or people who go through whatever? Who the hell are you to decide that they should be, I don't know, that like there's something wrong with them, that they're sick, or that, you know, it doesn't make sense, so it must be like disgusting? Like, who the hell are you to be deciding that? There's a part of me that's just like, okay, I can be at peace with the fact that you don't like it. That's fine that you don't like it. That's fine that you don't understand it. But the second you start saying it's disgusting and it's so sad that they're doing this, it's just like, you're seeing somebody go through something and they're making a decision that they want to be in a different scenario or a different situation, and they're taking the steps to move towards something that will make them feel better. If someone's taking steps towards something that makes them feel better, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it's sad or it's disgusting, or that, oh, we should pray for them because we don't know what's going to happen. Like that, I can't. I cannot deal with that way of thought because it's just, it's so ignorant. I think what frustrates me the most is knowing that somebody doesn't know anything about a situation, but feels the need to take whatever information has been fed to them about one case out of millions of cases, hold that as truth, have an emotional reaction, and then project that emotional reaction onto other people and tell them or try to convince them that they should feel the same way. What? Like, okay, let me try to use like a scenario in terms of what I'm talking about. Let's say on the news, they say something about, because I'm an artist, alright, so I'm going to nominate my profession as said situation. So let's say on the news they say most artists are inactive. Most artists spend time at their easel or at their canvas or whatever they're doing, whether they're traditional or digital. Most artists tend to not be active, and there has been a case study that most artists have poor physical health because they don't really get out much because they're spending too much time working on their art. That person, so somebody else or whatever, watching that situation on the news or wherever they get that information from will be like, oh my god, like, that's sad. Oh wait, I know somebody who's an artist. They must have poor physical health. Oh, actually, I just realized that the artist that I know is the child of some people that are going to be visiting later on today. So I'm going to tell the people that are visiting to check on that artist and their family because there's a possibility they have poor physical health. Who the fuck are you? Are you serious? Like that, it's situations like that that piss me off. You're taking a situation that has been fed to you from whatever outlet that it has been, and you're holding that as truth, you're having an emotional reaction, and then you're projecting that onto other people. How about you actually go to the direct source and ask them if they're okay? Like, if you're actually concerned and you're actually checking for somebody's well-being, go to them, ask them if they're okay, ask them how their art's going, ask them whatever. It's like, it irritates the hell out of me when somebody suddenly feels like they know everything because they've heard one case study or two case studies. It doesn't, like, honestly, it doesn't matter. When somebody says that that is their truth or that is their situation, that's truth for them, you know? It's like maybe there can be 10 different artists in the world who say, hey, yeah, I do have poor physical health because I don't get up a lot, but I'm trying to make a difference and I'm being more active. But just because 10 different artists say that doesn't mean that that's truth for every single artist. Like, why? It just irritates me when people feel like they know so much about everyone because of a few or because of some that have shown a specific result. It's like they don't know how to separate the two. Like, they don't know how to separate what they're seeing from the person that's in front of them. And they get so caught up in their emotions and what they're feeling that they can't understand the truth that's in front of them versus what they think is going on. Another thing that has been irritating me in terms of like when people don't like something or a particular person, this is more so pertaining to social media. It irritates me when there's like a so-and-so is over party or so-and-so is canceled or somebody not getting an award, and then the people that did get an award, they start to belittle or, I don't know, make the people who got an award feel less than because they feel like the person who didn't get an award is more deserving than those who did. That what is that? You know, it's frustrating because here's the thing. If you don't like someone, that's fine. I'm not sitting here trying to say, hey, if you don't like somebody, you should like them because ... No, because if I did that, then I'd be doing the same thing that those people are doing. But I just wish that people could be like, I don't like this person and that's it. Like, why do you have to be like, oh, they're over, they're canceled? It's like, here's the thing, like, I know that there are certain situations where I feel like most of the time when it's a canceled or over party thing, it's because somebody did something that in some way is hurtful or is ignorant or is whatever the case may be. It's like they should have known better. And I understand that there are situations where it's like, wow, like I expected better from you, or wow, like I expected you to know better. But it's like, if somebody does something and you don't like their actions, that's fine. You don't have to like their actions. And I think it becomes a problem when you make a decision that you don't like their actions, so everybody else who knows of this person, you have to convince them to feel the same way as you. It's like, why do you have to convince them? like why is this an opportunity to like vomit out your opinion on said person or situation and convince everybody to think the same way as you? It's like, I understand if somebody is, I guess, ignorant towards the particular situation and wants to know more, like, hey, can you enlighten me on what happened with this person? And you're like, well, they did this and I don't like it. Like, that, I feel like, is more of an opportunity where it is presenting, I guess, an opportunity for you to express how you feel about said person or express how you feel about the situation because the person said, hey, can you enlighten me on this particular thing? But it's frustrating when someone will be like, oh, I'm going to listen to this song or I'm going to use this brand because it's my favorite whatever, it's my favorite song. And out of nowhere, someone's just like, well, screw that person because this, that, and the other. It's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why? Why are you doing that? Like, it's like, I don't, it's like, I get that you, I just, oh my god, it's like, I get that there are people that you don't like and that there are situations that are unforgivable, but it's just like, that's up to you to decide, because something I've noticed is that there are some people that will come into anybody's life and can do harm, like real harm, like trauma, like do something that screws them up for years. And then those same people can go into somebody else's life and be the best thing that ever happened. And to me, that's just like showing that there's some people that are good for you and there are some people that aren't. But it's not up to you to decide what role somebody plays in somebody's life. Like, there are some people who work in some lives and there are some people who don't. And it's frustrating when people want to play the game of, because somebody caused a certain amount of harm in their life, they're now making the decision that that person's going to cause the same amount of harm in somebody else's life. Like, I will hold myself accountable in this moment and say that there are some people who I'm perfectly fine never seeing again in my life, you know? I am perfectly fine with never crossing paths with them because they have caused a lot of pain in my life, and also because I just know on an energetic level, we're not compatible. It's like the way that they function is different from me. But even though it's different, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It's just, it's not what's best for me. It's no longer about right or wrong. It's just what's best for me. And it's like, I know that if I were to surround myself with those people that have caused me harm, in my opinion, I haven't seen them, or I don't want to see them, but it's like I haven't seen them since whatever harm they've caused me. So in my mind, they still exist on the same type of frequency. And because of that, I know that I've changed and I want different things in my life. And it's like, I can't get closer to things I want by going back into the past and doing things that do not serve me, or being around people that don't serve me in a positive light. It's like, it's more of like it's like if I were to be around those people again, it would be a test of my mental strength as opposed to hey, let's move towards the things we want in our life, you know? There are definitely moments when I think about those people, or those people cross my mind. It may be, I don't know, like, I don't know, it's like, you know, when you see like a picture of a particular person or you see a situation, it's like something about it is very reminiscent to the people that have caused you pain. And it's like there are moments when that trigger happens, when I may think of those people, and there are moments where I'm just like, okay, like if I were to cross paths with this person today, you know, I think I could look them in the eye and be like, you know what, like, I hope you're doing well, and just keep it pushing. And then there are other days where those people will cross my mind and I'm just like, I don't even want to see them. I don't want to look at them. I don't want to make eye contact. I'm good. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's so, so true that the way you treat people is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And it's like, I know that depending on how I can emotionally deal with the thought of crossing paths with people I don't like, it tells me a lot about the current state of where I'm emotionally at in life. Because the moments where I can feel like if I were to cross paths with people that I don't like or don't want to see ever again, I know that if I'm able to think, oh, I would look them in their eye and be like, hey, I hope you're doing well, and just keep it pushing. I know those are the moments where I feel most confident in myself. I know those are the moments where I can be at peace with the fact that I don't agree with them, or I don't know, like, I'm at peace with the fact that we just don't work, you know, it is what it is, but it's not a reason for me to feel any ill will towards them, you know? And then for the times when I think about if I were to cross paths with them and just not want to see them at all or make any eye contact and kind of just like go in a fetal position somewhere else, you know, I know those are the moments where I feel less than. Those are the moments where I don't really feel the best quality of myself. Like, I just know that I feel like I'm just not in a space to feel like I just don't feel the best, you know? And I think that this year I've definitely learned a lot about being conscious of the way that I emotionally react towards things, because those emotional reactions tell me what headspace I'm in and kind of like what I need to do to practice self-love and self-care and to take care of myself. And kind of going back to the people that I was talking about in the beginning, where it's like they kind of feel this need to convince others of not liking a particular person or being like, oh, they're canceled or whatever. I feel like that's a direct reflection of like how they feel in their life. I think that those are probably the people that have never had a space to feel validation for their emotions. And I feel like it's possible that those people have gone through a lot of scenarios in their life in which they felt unseen, unheard, misunderstood for sure. You know, because it's like there are moments where people are so caught up in their pain that I kind of take a moment to look at everything they're saying and turn it into like, instead of whatever situation they're talking about or whatever person, change it to if they were talking about themselves. So when they say, I can't stand this person, change it to they're talking about themselves, you know? And those are the moments where I'm just like, wow, like you don't fuck with yourself. like you really don't care about your well-being. And it's like, I don't know how else to get more clear on this, but it's just like the way people treat you is literally a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Like, I'm pretty sure I have not seen, or at least I haven't been conscious of somebody who is in a very good state in their life and literally belittles other people. Outside materials don't mean shit, you know? So it's like if somebody's rich and they have flashy cars and name brand clothes, like that doesn't mean shit. I mean like their actual character. And it's like if somebody is nice to you, like genuinely sweet, I think that's a very clear reflection of how they treat themselves. Like they have to be nice to themselves. They have to know how to love themselves. They have to know how to take care of themselves to be able to do that for you. It's like we really learn how to treat others through the way we treat ourselves. It's kind of like if somebody has lived their entire life allowing others to treat them poorly, in turn, they're treating themselves poorly because they haven't made the step to realize that they deserve better and to not expose themselves to those type of people. But if somebody loves themselves enough to know that they deserve better, they wouldn't be around those people, and naturally you attract like energy. So if you are around people who treat you well, you're going to treat them well too, because that's already what you're doing, you know? It's like you're attracting the energy that's already in tune with you, so that's why you guys mesh. It's, oh God, it's such a difficult situation because like I really, like, I guess this is kind of more like a vent session because I don't know how to deal with people who have the behavior of feeling like they're a voice for people who they haven't even spoken directly to. It's like going back to the artist situation I was talking about. It's like, how do you feel that you are the voice for artists and the type of things they go through and what they deal with when you haven't even spoken to an artist? You haven't even spoken to the person you're concerned about. You haven't had a real conversation in which you are trying to enlighten yourself. It's kind of like I already have in my mind what I believe, so everything that said artist says to me is either proving what I believe, or I'm somehow going to misconstrue what they're saying so that it fits my point, you know, like that. I don't know how to deal with people like that. I don't. It's like, I think it's one of those things where it's just like, just decreasing the amount of time you expose yourself to people like that, because those are the type of people that I've found in my life are most difficult to communicate with, because it's no longer like having a reasonable conversation with them. It's just them trying to prove their point and not listening to anything you say. So then it's like, why am I wasting my energy? Like it's already exhausting for me to have this conversation. So why am I going to waste my energy on this interaction where it's not progressive? There's nothing being changed in this. It's like, it's not progressing. It's not going anywhere. And on top of that, it's like, it's not my job to do the work for you. It's not my job to enlighten you or convince you otherwise. But it's frustrating when you can be conscious enough to not project what you believe on somebody because you know how exhausting it is, but the person who is triggering you and getting on your nerves is the type of person who's trying to convince and project on you things that you don't agree with, and that's just what they do. It's like they just spend time convincing you of believing the same things that they do because they just don't have it in them to believe something and not feel like they have to convince you to believe the same. I don't know, it's really tough. It's tough, but this is something that has been on my mind lately because I've been seeing so many situations where it's just like people don't like a particular person and then they will try to convince other people to not like them too, but it's like, I understand that there are people in our life that hurt us, but sometimes those people need to be exposed to other people who can help them change. It's like we need to give those people that have caused us pain the room to evolve, the room to not be like that, the room to know better. But it's like, how can those people know better or be educated on how to not do those painful things if we don't give them the space and we're just like pushing them in a corner of, you did something wrong, don't ever talk to anybody, like like it's like they're gonna do it again, you know? It's like if they've hurt you so much, make a decision that you don't want to be around them, make a decision that you don't want to be exposed to anything dealing with that. But once you start trying to control how much other people interact with them, they're probably going to hurt somebody else the same way that they've hurt you because they haven't been exposed to anything to encourage them to change. And I don't think that is beneficial to anyone in any way. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye, guys.